Here it is, guys, the Mk8 GTI at last. And there's much to talk about.
So this is it.
The 8th coming of the GTI. And I do mean the GTI because the badge has lived on other brands such as the Peugeot 208 GTI. I mean, this is a badge that lived on a Maserati a couple of decades ago, long before the Golf came around. It isn't even the only GTI that VW makes, there's also the Polo. But this one, I'm sure you'll agree, is the icon. See, this is the one that started it all. This badge marks the genesis of the hot hatch brand.
And 45 years later, well, we get this.
Well, technically 669,300 Rand gets this. The Mk8 Golf GTI, of course, comes with a turbocharged 2-liter TSI power plant, good for 180 kilowatts and 370 Newton meters, and is paired with this 7-speed dual-clutch DSG transmission. This latest, most digitally augmented GTI ever will sprint from 0 to 100 in just 6.4 seconds. They are, of course, quicker, less comfortable hatchbacks. And then there's the fact, of course, that we live in an era where sports cars have begun to adopt the look of a hatchback profile. But these kinds of machines are creeping ever closer to $1 million. Yeesh.
Hop aboard, settle into the GTI Vienna leather pews, and you'll encounter an all-digital dashboard with a 10.25-inch instrument cluster with bespoke graphics. Then there's climatronic air conditioning, a heated leather multifunction sports steering wheel with touch controls, and shift paddles. There's almost no knobs at all in this cabin, that is, apart from me. It's a haptic world, where gestures and swipes rule. My test unit gets the black styling package with black alloys, and look, people loved this car. On the road, wherever I drove it, I literally had a convoy of several generations of GTI around me, driven by every kind of enthusiast. People's car, eh? How does it go? Quickly and with great competence, and around corners too. It has a McPherson front and multi-link rear suspension with new bushings, bump stops and software, hydraulics and bearings. Add to this, it features a further enhanced stability control as well as launch control. Climbing front shook past, its red line singing as I made full use of the 180 kilowatts and 370 Newton meters on tap. It reminded me of the previous gen Golf R or Audi S3 in the way it grips, and even how the torque is poured out onto the wheels. Its power to weight ratio over the previous model barely changes as a result of the extra weight negating the bump in power, but the center of gravity feels lower now, allowing you to push harder and deeper into the pristine mountain passes bends. There's no shortage of traction here, and the soundtrack is nothing to complain about either. There's no surprises here in the new GTI, but plenty of delight. It's well worth the price of admission at 670,000 Rand and remains the poster child for evolution over revolution. This one feels like a bigger, more digital installment than ever. That it still provides analog thrills is only a pleasure.